Good morning. Merry Christmas. My name is Deacon Kleinschmit. I am the deacon here in Holy Family Parish, but our Catholic family of parishes. I serve wherever Father asks me to go. I have been blessed to be married to my wife of Marnie Kleinschmit for 30 years. We celebrated our 30th anniversary this year while we took a pilgrimage over to Rome and Greece, and we're very blessed in that. I've been also blessed with 4 amazing children, Samantha, Jessica, Jaron, and Rebecca, who have now found ways to expand our family by marrying others, and I can now say I have 7 children, and they are definitely a very great blessing for me and my wife with all the gifts that they bring. And a couple of those gifts being Monroe and Artica, my 2 granddaughters. They have got me wrapped around their finger because whatever they want, I seem to not be able to say no to. But, you know, God has created us in such a unique and special way that the relationships that we have in this world are just shadows of that relationship that we have with Him. And Father, through the season of Advent, has been trying to share the kerygma, where we are made in relationship with God and with others, how we are called to respond to Him, but oftentimes sin gets in the way and we need a rescue. And then through that rescue, that grace that comes, we're able to then give of ourselves. And I am like everybody else. I am just a broken man trying to get to heaven the best way I can by clawing and scratching my way up there, but really it has nothing to do with me, but other than saying yes to the invitation that God has given to me, extended to me. You know, I too was formed in a relationship with God, just like all of us, as a son of the Most High God. I was blessed with an amazing family. My upbringing was awesome. I got to go to East Catholic and then Cedar Catholic, where they tried to instill the faith in me, but the hard head that I have, you know, not much of it stuck while I went through school. But you know, we get the things that we need when we need them. When I went to college at USD and such, I started to fall away from the church, and I would even say that started to happen during my high school years, where I started to question the faith and didn't feel like all of this made sense to me. And that's probably just because I didn't have a true relationship with God. It was more of my parents' relationship, and I hadn't made it my own yet. Well, through my high school, college, and then early marriage, I really did fall away from the church and became a truck driver. And all of the crazy things that happen out on the road, I was susceptible to those temptations. And I didn't practice my faith very well. I needed a Savior to come and save me. And one day, I'll just share the story real quick. I was delivering Christmas trees to a place in Louisiana, and it was a Sunday, and I was working on Sunday. And after I got done unloading the Christmas trees at this stop, I noticed at the end of the block was the Catholic Church. And I was not in a state of grace, but I did go to the church, and I sat in the back for Mass. And after Mass, I went up to Father and I asked him for confession. And he graciously heard my confession and then offered me the Eucharist, because he had said he noticed that I had been there for the whole Mass. And what a gift. But then he gave me a gift that has changed my life. He brought out a cassette tape and a pamphlet, and on those was the Divine Mercy Chaplet. And that was the first time I was introduced to the Divine Mercy. Here was the Savior, the rescue that I needed. And through praying and getting to know the Divine Mercy more, I was led into a deeper relationship with God, to the point where I would stop the truck at different places for daily Mass, or for 3 o'clock for to pray the Divine Chaplet. There are often many times that you would see a truck parked in front of a priest's rectory because I stopped to go to confession, and they never have truck parking at priest's rectory. I don't understand why. But no matter what, it was a growth in my life. One day, my wife's grandfather had a heart attack, and we received the call that he was at the University of Lincoln Heart Center down there, and we had to rush down there. because he wasn't expected to make it. And when we got there, they were just keeping him on life support so the rest of the family could come in. And while we were there, we were praying the divine mercy over him overnight, through the night. And he was an old cowboy from western Nebraska that, God and I are good. I don't really need faith. We're okay. And we knew that wasn't his calling. He was called to have a more intimate relationship with the Lord. Well, we prayed all the night, the divine mercy over and over. And in the middle of the night, I'm sitting in the hallway looking out this window, and it's raining outside in the parking lot. And as I'm praying it, I hear a voice right behind me that says, "How long are you going to make me wait for you?" I knew immediately who the voice was and what he meant. And it was the Lord reaching into me and saying, "Shane, I've given you so much. Why are you holding back from me? Why are you not responding to these gifts that I've given you to share them with the rest of the world?" And so I kind of knew what he meant, but the next morning on the way back from Lincoln to here to Cedar County, I visited with my wife, and I said, "This has happened to me last night." And she goes, "What do you think it means?" And I said, "I think he's calling me to the diaconate." And I had never thought about going to the diaconate before that. I'd been exposed to Deacon Taney and my godfather, Deacon Dreismeyer down in Omaha, but I never thought that calling was for me. And she said, "I've been waiting for you to recognize that call in your life." And I really was kind of stunned by that. Well, we did embark upon that journey, but to just back up a little bit, the divine mercy was what led me into this. And the divine mercy, my wife's grandfather, just to give a final close to that story, he lived another 3 years. He didn't die that night or the next day. And before he passed away, he asked to be baptized. And the great gift of God's love for us was so profound, not only in his life, but as it's working through mine. I have to admit that I still struggle every day with being self-centered, self-focused, wanting for myself instead of giving to the Lord or others. Putting God first in my life is a real challenge. Whether I'm praying the divine office in the mornings and evenings, whether I'm trying to get to daily mass or adoration, praying with the scriptures, frequenting the sacraments. Boy, I need the sacrament of confession. I figured if the Pope goes every week, I better try to go every week or every two, because he's got a lot holier the guy than I am. And so every time I can be in front of the sacraments, I try to respond to God's gift to me by being there with him. This has led to a certain fruitfulness in my life, I hope. I've been able to be with others and offer myself more. My wife and I, we try to not only do holy hours and with the different sacraments, but to also be there for those that are in need, whether it's First Communion or First Reconciliation prep and doing the First Reconciliation or First Communion retreats, helping with confirmation or marriage prep or whatever it might be, baptismal prep. But to be there also for those people that don't feel like they're in the church or excluded from the church, those who are struggling in any way. Probably the greatest gift of my life right now at this moment is taking communion after Mass to those that can't make it to church. As I take that time on Sundays to do that and visit with those that are locked in their homes for whatever reason, and to share in their struggles and crosses, I've been so blessed to be given grace from them to me. And on my way home, I have oftentimes remarked that this is my pathway of sanctification. This is my road to heaven. That I get to give to those around me what God has given me. I think about it so many times. As a truck driver, I've hauled just about everything, oil, acid, combines, tractors, feed, seed, whatever it is. But my greatest load that I get to haul is Sunday after Mass, when I get to carry the precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus in my picks next to my heart as I'm driving down the highway. I mean, a truck driver's dream, right? So all in all, I would say Merry Christmas. Listen to where God's inviting you. He has a great gift to give you and then invites you to share that gift with others. God bless.